Hello YouTube, I am back uploading. I have taken time to recover, I feel much better. Thank you all for the well wishes. It's weird seeing people you don't know say nice things about you and wish good things for you. But yeah, can't thank you all enough. That was really cool to read. I'm not gonna go back and upload the stuff I did, but I'm gonna just resume like I was. But let's actually talk about what we're here for. Yuri, I have played this game. His IW, he was a mess. I used him like thrice and then said forget it. I hate this character right now, but I think he's a lot better now. So in this video, before you pull on the Yuri FR banners, I'm going to review the units on these banners and use this information to guide my suggestions. I also want to hear what you guys are thinking, so in the comments, leave what you think about the character, whether you're polling, what you're going to do for the event, all that stuff. Like the video while you're down there, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so you don't miss a video, consider remembering up. I appreciate it. And let me hear your reductionist take of Yuri. I'm going to say Yuri is basically, who has traps? Yuri is basically a Paladin Cecil Ace. Not my best, but I'm sure someone will come up with something funnier. Anyways, let's keep it moving. Yuri, this kid, he is a range and magic hybrid attacker. When I say hybrid, that word is kind of vague, unfortunately, nowadays. But I mean, it's good to define your terms. I mean, he provides some support, but he also does a decent amount of damage. He is primarily holy damage. He has party buffs, including HP regen, which is really strong, 30% party HP regen, I believe. He's also got the party brave HP, attack up, etc. And he's got a stacking debuff trap. I'm putting it in quotes because of how it technically works, but it's got a weird interaction. Basically, while his LD buff is up, you attack enemies and they gain debuff stacks. And when it's at 3, if you press Brave Plus on them, and now with his rework, by the way, Yuri will instantly, it'll be an instant turn. Yuri will do a 7 Brave plus HP attack on them and then remove the stacks on that one target. So he's got a nuke in his pocket where you build those stacks up. Before, the nuke was not worth it because it was like, one extra HP attack, but now that gets +5. That's really good. Yuri's also getting Brave Retain on his rework. He's getting more HP damage up, Brave and HP damage up for the party as well. So he's way more likely to actually cap his damage, which is nice. And now he's getting Party Evasion. And I didn't include this on there, but Party Holy Enchant from his FR. And his BT gives the party evasion. Well, it's not evasion, but I'll go into the specifics in the next slide. So his burst, evasion was not the correct term. It's an aura enemy blind. So it's like Kamari's debuff or Waka's, if Waka didn't miss. It's like that on the enemies, but it's an aura. So if their attacks are not guaranteed, they will miss, and it's an aura effect. It's not a dodge, it's a blind, whatever. Probably not a functional difference, but I can't think of a reason why there would be. He also raises the party's brave damage and brave cap by 50%, the party's HP damage and HP cap by 30%, and this lasts for 6 turns. So his FR condition is 30% when the party member recovers HP on their turn. Yuri has HP regen, so this 30% is free. There's 20% when Yuri does a holy attack. Yuri is doing holy on all of his attacks, so he can always hit this, obviously. And there's an additional 5% when anyone in the party does a 5% or does a holy attack. So on Yuri's turns, he can get 55% every turn at base, obviously a little bit more if he's force enhanced. The party members can only get 35% on their turns. But both of these include off turns, and it's important to note that Yuri's debuff can count as a trap if it goes all the way down, because this will end up triggering a 25% off turn for Yuri. Or you can just drive it with Yuri in a BT phase or something, and he'll get 60 a turn, so that's pretty handy. But this also means that since Yuri has Party Holy Enchant tacked on to his FR, so what ends up happening is if you run him with off turn non-elemental units, I don't think there's any off turn holy units unless you count Aiko's trap technically, that goes off when everybody dies. Yuri can actually hit those off turn conditions while driving his own, which is pretty handy, I'd say. So you compare him with Core, who's synergy on his cycle, Yang, who's just there, Ace, Kayn, Freya, just any non-elemental off turns, cover tanks, Galuf, Galuf probably works even better because this is the thing about Galuf and 8 and a bit. They have 2 separate off-turn attacks, and these count as 2 separate ticks. So you can get 5% each time on that, which is very nice. So if you want to maximize that, just double up on the off-turns, and you'll get 5% each time. So strengths-wise, Yuri's got decent damage now. Like I said, his special Brave Plus when the enemy's debuff is at 3 stacks, 7 HP attacks, and it's instant turn. And so he can really just abuse that. And it's a nuke. That's a lot of damage at once. The party evasion, enemy blind, whatever, is very handy for just dodging things. It's similar to Edge, so you can just like negate things if enemies aren't guaranteed hitting. His HP regen is fairly strong for someone who can do this amount of damage, which is always nice. The FR enchant is very nice. You don't have to waste a call slot setting it up to get stuff on party turns, and he can enable off turns. I think the last off turn FR we got was maybe like Cloud of Darkness or Cryo, or I'm blanking right now, but just the fact that he can package all that in one is pretty handy. Weakness wise, he is locked to the Holy Element. We are getting the 3 months of elemental lockouts starting after Ferris, and I can't tell you how well Holy fares. I need someone to do a deep dive. I should probably do a deep dive into that, considering I'm a content creator giving research, but I know Yuri does take a hit from it. If you have Charlotta, you can push through it. Shout out to Charlotta. I'll be doing that, but it is something to consider. His BT effect is pretty short, so it's hard for him to take full advantage of it if he's driving. His BT, if you're doing his BT finisher into BT phase, that can be pretty tricky, but you don't have to play like that obviously, but it is pretty short, especially if he's using the instant turn rate, because like he got the instant turn rate thing, but then that ends up making him eat through his BT effect, and the setup to get the max damage out of that, because you got to make sure the enemies have 3 stacks on them when you're going to the BT phase, or else that could potentially be a damage loss. So things to consider. I think Yuri's got a solid future, at least. If you check out V-Power SP's channel, he did quite a few Yuri runs. You can check him out there. Pretty cool stuff. But yeah, Yuri's alright. Eald'Narche. He's a range damage dealer. This guy, I think, is one of the coolest designs in the game kit-wise, but it just ends up being kind of boring. He debuffs. He has sap on his debuffs, attack, defense, speed down, and he has stun. Technically, I'm not sure how this is considered in the game, but whenever he's targeted, and provided you have his debuff set up, you probably check the Tonberry infographics for more details, but you need to have Terror on. If Terror is on, they won't attack if they're targeting Eald'Narche, so taunt calls on him do wonders. And if he has the warp debuff on them, he will go immediately after them, kind of like Shulk, Realm. Realm was the OG, but Eald'Narche is another player in that area. So he can just straight up deny enemy acting. The turn warp is a free turn when he does this. He got EX recast up now, so he can, and you got free skill after EX, so he can spam that a little bit more. And his on-turn damage is better, but he's really relying on getting the most out of his damage when he warps. You don't have to spam HP plus as much because he does have those free skills, but in the recast up, but yeah. He's still a bit, it's harder to justify him because his normal attacks, like 3-4 HP attacks, why not just run someone who doesn't warp and does more damage on turn, especially in force time. It's not as easy to use him. I can't quite think of many FRs he fits into. I know he can work with Jesse down the line, and range ball ones being bulkier, but otherwise, he got a BT plus. He gives more party HP damage and HP cap depending on the active debuffs. So Eald'Narche is unfortunately a little bit sad. I'm sure some niche cases could justify him, but he's not in a good spot right now, I think. Gladio, honestly, this is the Gladio banner. This is the Gladio event. Gladio is one of the most broken units in the game, and I'm just gonna say it right now. If you don't get his LD here, what are you doing? But he is a melee counter tank. While his LD buff is up, he is invincible. He doesn't take bravery HP damage unless the enemies cut through reductions, obviously, or HP poison. And he is debuff immune, unless it's a guaranteed debuff, obviously. This was balanced around not lasting for that long, but with his rework, they made this thing last 6 turns on quest start and 8 turns every time he presses his LD, of which he got another use. So that's what, like almost 40 turns of this buff, it's not falling off. He's pretty much unkillable. It's hard to. Gladio's broken, man. He gives party buffs. He now gives like additional party HP damage, brave damage, and brave gains up. And he's got a 15% HP cap blue armor. He's got tons of party battery on all of his skills. His EX and LD do a decent amount of damage, and then his counter is a double HP attack. This guy is broken. One of the top 5 broken units in the game, hands down. That's the tweet. Not a controversial take. Add on to skip tank for tank meta, but man, Gladio's damn good. Yuffie is a ranged debuffer who is also getting a C90. She provides enemy buff dispel, and she can take them for herself. She also can cleanse the party of 1 debuff with her skill 2 and throw it back at the enemies. This is potentially very abusive in the right setups, but other times it's just nice to see. She can deny enemy brave gains and buffs via her EX debuff, and she's got strong buff, like she's got decent attack up for the party and then brave, I think, and her debuffs can get really strong too. I believe she has the biggest sap in the game. Yuffie is kind of a utility character. When she really works, she really works. Her EX and LD are currently nukes, I think at 7 HP attacks a pop. Otherwise, her kit, not as easy to justify, but she can fit into some party slots. When her utility works, it really works. Not to make bad comparisons, but I think down like a month from now, we're getting Aerith LD, and she's a bit better at buff denial and being a better unit overall than Yuffie. So, but you know, the lack of Dare to Defy, killing me here. But yeah, Yuffie's got that utility. If you want that. And again, those debuffs. Excuse me. Closing out now, we have Arciela, who's one of my favorite units in the game because she does so much. She's not getting anything new here. She is a magic utility support. Utility, again, is a nothing word, but well, I'm probably gonna forget something, but she has party heals, burst heals. She has enemy dispel on her skill 1, full dispel. She can silence enemies with her skill 2, and she can deny their brave gains on her LD debuff. She's got a special HP. I love running her with Aerith's FR down the line, just hitting those special HP conditions. And she also puts brave and speed down on the enemies. The enemies rarely, and I didn't say this about Eald'Narche too, but enemies like rarely resist HP silence and this stuff. So if you're getting messed up by some boss, you can just pop Arciela in there and you just won't get attacked and they'll be slowed down. So I love running her. She's really handy. But she's not getting much now except for Force Enhanced. And lastly, we have Rydia. I hope the Rydia stan isn't in my comments anymore, writing essays about this character. She is a water enchant hybrid, another nothing word, but I didn't know what to call her. Guaranteed. I put the LOL on here because the way Rydia is supposed to work is you'll always hit water weakness damage, even if it's resisted with Rydia. That was her gimmick. Unfortunately, what happened with the way the new lockouts worked is that if using element and not this element, then we'll do one. It overwrites this. So her niche got nuked until her FR, until they stopped doing lockouts, which is cool. But right now, she can provide temporary party evasion 3 turns for every party member on her LD buff, which is potentially handy. It's decent as a call, but I mean, right now, Radiant Party is not it. Also, whip. So overall, before you pull on this banner, what are my suggestions? Again, if you decided on what you want to do, please, by all means, do what you gotta. I don't care. Don't send me essays over your favorite character. I really don't care. I'm gonna laugh at you. Let me get my plans first. So I have all of the LDs on all these banners. All I'm missing are Yuri's BTFR and Eld's BT. I'm not going for Eld's BT. I will never use this man. I'm sure some weirdo can find a good use for him in Shinryu, but right now it's just not it. I don't think. But I do want Yuri's BT and FR. I might just gem it off the bat. I don't know, or maybe I'll wait till what's it called, Vane's banner, because I'm missing a lot there. But yeah, I want this. I will be running the Yuri saga, quote unquote. I'm very interested. I want to rep him properly. I think this kit looks really cool, and the fact that he can drive stuff while enabling off turns, and he can get really high percentages, I think is really cool. So I will be going for this, absolutely. My recommendations though, get Gladio, full stop. If you don't have Gladio right now, get him. Get him. He is one of the hardest, easiest, what does that mean? Get the character, damn it. There is no reason for anyone to skip this character. Get over your biases from hating FF15 or whatever. This is a broken unit who enables so much. Off turns, he's unkillable. He's so good. He's just so good. It's ridiculous. I know skip tank for tank exists and the brain rot in the community over that, but Jesus Christ, Gladio is broken. Get this character. Additionally, Arciela is nice to have. I don't think I'd recommend anyone chase her, but she can be handy, so that makes this banner, the Yuri banner, a plus in my mind. Yuri without full investment is probably a dud, but I'd say at minimum, get Gladio by any means. As for the other banner, Rydia is a niche pickup for calls that could potentially be helpful, but unless you're overflowing on tickets, same with Yuffie, I don't think I'd try and throw anything there. But if you don't have them, they might be nice pickups. But if you're really ticket starved, maybe consider going for better banners. Or like we got Gao and Core, and Leon can run some off-turn stuff too, and then Science calling the next banner. So I'd say at minimum, everyone needs to be getting Gladio, full stop. If you got some tickets to spare, consider getting, in this order, I'd say Arciela's LD, Arciela's full kit, Rydia's LD at least for the call, and then Yuffie maybe for some situations. But past that, the BT plus units, I don't really, I can't really recommend them to anyone. Especially Yuri might have been a better sell if the lockouts hadn't happened, but they do. I'll be trying to rep him, but I don't think I'd recommend him to anyone. And I'll see if I actually like playing him, because I might just say never mind. That's all I had to say. Let me know what you guys think. I'm glad to be back. Glad to be playing the game. Hope y'all checked your forum with saving. And yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think. Well, if I said anything wild. And I'll catch you guys later. All right. Have a good one. Peace.